Howdy YouTube, Unky Joe here, Unky Joe's Playhouse. Today we have, we're starting a new series, and it's pretty much unannounced, but I'm announcing it now. We are going to do a Microsoft Exchange server installation and configuration from beginning to end. I don't know how many parts this video will be, but it'll be at least 2 or 3, I would imagine. So let me explain to you what I'm trying to do here. Synology has a mail server built into it, but it's limited to 5 licenses, and it's kind of, I've been playing around with it, getting used to it, and I am going to do a video on setting up a Synology mail server, but it is really designed for a smaller environment and a less demanding environment than Microsoft Exchange. Microsoft Exchange is an expensive mail package, but you can actually download the trial, and I think it's a 180-day trial, so they give you half a year to play around with it, 6 months, and I think you can extend that one out to a full year as well. The reason I'm using it is because I have multiple domains. I have, you know, my mcstx.net, I have monkeyjoesplayhouse.com, I have quite a few others, and then I have a hosting company that I do shared hosting on. So it's very important to me that I have some of the features that are available under Exchange that are not available under the Synology mail server. So that being said, what I'm doing is I've rolled up a Windows Server 2012 R2. I've done all the updates on it and set up a virtual machine. And I'm going to walk you through the steps of preparing the Active Directory, installing Exchange, and then configuring Exchange, and then configuring your DNS settings so that your mail server will work, all that stuff in one video. Now I'm going to prepare you. Each one of these videos is going to be long, half an hour, 45 minutes, because I've got a lot of information to convey. And I'm also going to include some stuff I would normally edit out. There are going to be some rants in there. There's going to be some information while we're waiting for the install to complete that I'm going to discuss with you, because I want it to be as informative as possible, and I want you to see the actual process I have to go through. I could cut it to pieces and make it look all neat and tidy, but I want you to see it warts and all, and I want you to see me rant. So I did this video last night, this part you're about to see now, and because I was in the mood to do a video and wanted to get it done. So let's get started with part 1 of this installation, and we'll begin at the beginning, as they say. Alright, so we have created a Windows 2012 server. If you want to know why, ask in the comments section and I may answer you, but we'll just suffice it to say we're going with Windows Server 2012 R2 Standard. We have 2 processors, 4 gig of RAM, and 2 hard drives. One is 120 gig for the operating system, the other one is an 80 gig for the Exchange server. And I have given it a hard-coded IP address of 5.10, turned off the Windows firewall for the domain, and enabled remote desktop. So we're ready to go there. Let's go ahead and close Server Manager. Now what we need to do is go download .NET Framework 4.5.2. So I'm just going to type in .NET 4.5.2, and we'll take the first link that comes up here. And no, we don't want a Surface Pro, but we'll download the .NET Framework. I'm going to go ahead and save it. And then I'll open the folder, and I close Internet Explorer, and then I run it from the downloads folder. Now this is .NET Framework. You're going to need this. It's one of the prerequisites to installing Exchange 2016, and then we have another package or another installer we'll need to install before this, and then we'll have some prerequisite files that need to be added, and then we can actually run the Exchange install program. Now in addition to this, we need to go over to our domain controller, and we need to mount the Exchange 2016 install image, the ISO file, and we're going to need to get Active Directory ready for Exchange 2016. If you don't do that beforehand, the installation will fail. You have to add fields to the database for the user's database so that it knows how to handle the additional mail information. And we have to do all that before we can even install. But we'll go over that step by step. Anyway, this takes a bit of time to run. We'll go ahead and let that run. I'll come back when it's done. So our installation is complete of the .NET framework. So I'm going to go ahead and click Finish. And then I will need to restart that computer. So I'll go ahead and restart that, and we'll come back when it gets back up. And we're back. We rebooted, and now we have come to the Microsoft Download Center, and we are going to download and install the Unified Communication Manager Managed API 4.0 Runtime. So we click on Download, and we will save it. Shouldn't take very long on this connection. It's fairly speedy connection. Also, pardon the noise and the horrible lighting. I'm doing this in the evening and it's hot. And adding the lights to it, these are incandescent light bulbs behind us. They're only 40 watts a piece, but they put out a good bit of heat. I am so glad we got rid of old light bulbs. I mean, they have their place. I'm going to go ahead and close Internet Explorer, and then I'm going to run this program. I never realized, you know, we mainly, when I was growing up as a kid, had 100-watt light bulbs. Let's see. It requires Media Foundation. Okay. Well, that's funny. So, in order to overcome that error message that we had, we need to go out to a command prompt. Or actually, we need to go out to a PowerShell. So I'm going to run PowerShell as administrator. And we need to run this command here, install -Windows Feature Server Media Foundation. Now, hopefully once we do this, and it is successful, then we will be able to install the API framework. So, let's see what happens here. This ought to be interesting. Now, this is my first time installing Exchange Server 2016. I have never configured it before in my life. Okay, and it's warning me I have to, let's see, automatic update is not enabled, that's fine. We have to reboot. So, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a couple of things here. I'm going to reboot the server, and then I'm going to run Windows updates on this. It's been a while since that's been run, and I want to make sure I've got all my updates on there. So I'll come back when all of that is done. We're back. All the updates have been done, so let's go to the downloads folder, and we'll run this as administrator. Let's see if we're successful this time. Well, we're getting further than we were before. So this is the Unified Communications Managed API for Runtime setup. Click Next. No, I don't want to share data. And we'll let it run. So this is going to run, or install several components, I should say. And we'll let it run, and I'll come back when something changes. We're good. We're golden. It is installed. I'm going to click on Finish. And then I think that's going to be it for the Exchange server. So now we need to go over and visit our domain controller and extend the directory schema in order to prepare it for the Exchange server installation. That's the only hairy part there's going to be. But let's go over to that server and get that done. Alright, we're over on DC1, MCS DC01. And make sure you do a backup. And I would do a bare metal backup, and you know why I prefer bare metal backups of Windows servers rather than piecemeal backups. Do yourself a favor and do a bare metal backup. You'll be much happier if anything were to go awry. I've already done that, so I don't need to show that to you. So I need to go out to a command prompt as an administrator. And I need to run the following command. This will prepare the schema. Now, here's the problem. I don't have Exchange 2016 mounted. So I need to do that. So before I enter that command, I'm going to go out to the network, because this is on the NAS under the applications folder, partner downloads, and I should have Exchange 2016. Do I not? Wow, I do not. I have not downloaded that, have I? But just let me make sure. Wow, I can't believe I haven't downloaded that. Okay. CSNAS, applications, Microsoft Partner Downloads. Oh, Exchange 2016. That's the one I want to mount. If it'll let me. Okay, it did. And it assigned drive letter G. So Microsoft now says in order to prepare the schema, I need to go out and run this command. So I need to run it from, I guess, G. Oop. G:\\. Okay, let's try that. Alright, we will let this run. Let's see how it does. I'm always nervous when I'm going to change the Active Directory schema. Alright, so it's going to do its thing. Now, the next step that we have to do is run another Active Directory preparation tool. Sounded like Preparation H tool, didn't it? No, my server doesn't have hemorrhoids. I might. No, I don't either. It's way too personal. Okay, so let's see if it's going to do its thing. I don't know how long this is going to take. 5 seconds, 5 minutes. Okay, so a reboot from a previous installation is pending. Please restart the system and okay, didn't complete. Oh, I see. So there's the command, and let's hit the enter key. And let's see if we have any success on this. I was doing a little experimenting, and I mounted the Exchange server ISO, and I started running through the GUI setup just to see if there was a part in there that you could run on the server that would prepare the Active Directory, and there didn't appear to be one. So I exited the install, told it yes, I wanted to stop, and then I tried to run this command, and it said that there was a previous installation pending and I needed to reboot. So hopefully I haven't screwed anything up. I did reboot now and remounted the ISO, and I'm attempting to run the command again. Now I run this as a administrator under a command prompt, and this is where it was bombing before, so we'll see if it gets past this and does the pre-wet. Okay, it did that. Now it's configuring. Okay, it's extending it. So this is the moment, fingers crossed, you wouldn't want the power to fail or anything else, because it's actually expanding the Active Directory schema and adding additional. The Active Directory schema is just a glorified database. That's all it is. And this is extending fields within the database to hold more data, i.e. for the mail server. So I can keep babbling on while this runs. It doesn't look like it's going to take that long. But I hate it when you're doing a previous, like previously I was installing this and I had a train of thought I was going on. And now, of course, I've forgotten it as I've moved on to this next cutscene, as they say. So we'll hope this will be successful. Oh, yeah, I know what I was talking about. On the second command that I run, I have to give the organization a name. So, remember I registered a domain called mcs-hosting.com or whatever months ago when I set up my domain, my cPanel, and registered that domain. So that's what I'm going to use here. I'm just going to call it MCS Hosting, because this mail server is not only going to be hosting email for my corporate, my business domain, but it's also going to be hosting it for a few other domains that I have mail on, and I need to keep mail on. So that was the train of thought I was having on the last install. So Now you're understanding the method of my madness. I have tried the mail server within Synology. It's okay. It'll get the job done, but it limits you to 5 users, and it's not Microsoft Exchange. But it's nowhere near as complicated to set up as Microsoft Exchange will be. Well, I've never installed one of these before. Last one I installed was Exchange 2010. That's the one I'm familiar with. I have been putting off learning a new version of Exchange because it is such a complex setup. But hopefully I'll simplify it here, and then I'll always have this video to go back to and look upon. You know, for hints and tips, because I forget shit too. So not only does YouTube archive my videos, but I archive all my videos I put on YouTube. That's why I needed all that storage space on the Synology NAS, is because and I have no plans to do 4K video. I'm not that advanced, but 1080p still takes up a lot of space. So how's that for rambling on for 4 minutes? Time for a drink of coffee. The nice thing is you can always edit this out in post-processing. Nobody gives a damn what ends on the cutting floor. Like, for example, I'm at 93%, but I gotta go to the bathroom. So hi, I'm still here. I'm down here in the little corner here, the right-hand corner, lower right. And you know, it's like Microsoft time. It's always the last 3 to 4% that takes forever. You know, they say with age comes wisdom. I agree with that, but it doesn't include patience. I wish it did. I was not patient as a child. I'm as impulsive as an adult as I was as a child. Sometimes I have to correct myself. I'm sure you all have dealt with that before. Yay! So that was successful. Yay! That took all of about 5 minutes. Alright, so that last part was successful. So now we need to do this part. I have the command in there, but I need to change some stuff. Now, it's probably not case sensitive, but I'm going to do MCS hosting. And enter. Well, we shall see. See how long this one takes. So that was that organization name I was talking about earlier. Right here. That was that organization name I was talking about earlier. I should have put a hyphen in there, but I'm just going to call it MCS hosting. It has absolutely no effect on Exchange. It is just the organization name. Uh-oh. Let's see. MCS hosting, because it contains invalid characters. Okay. Well, maybe what that means is that I need to go type that command in properly and remove these little chingamaderos. It should only be in quotes. If you've ever programmed before, you know the importance of correct syntax. Also, we'll try this again. But I like to put my mistakes out there because it'll give people an idea of the trouble you can run into if you're not absolute on typing. And that may still be wrong. I'm assuming that you have to take those ampersand signs out, whatever the hell they call those bracket signs out. Let's see. Alright, performing the check. At least we're getting further than we did last time. So hopefully y'all can see this. Okay, so it's doing it. And it's telling me it hasn't found any Exchange 2013 roles. I will not be able to install any of those roles. So if I already had a 2013 server, it would detect it and added the 2016 accordingly. So it's only going to do it for 2016. So no 2010 roles have been detected either, so I won't be able to install Exchange 2010 at all. And it's good to know that my recent Windows Defender summary, no threats were found. I guess that's good. I am always leery when I make changes to Active Directory, but it's got to be done. If you're going to run an Exchange server, you've got to go whole hog on Microsoft. You've got to have a domain controller. You've got to have your DNS set up, your DHCP. All that's got to be done completely and properly. So we were successful. That's a good sign. All right. So according to Microsoft now, this is the last step I have to do on the domain controller. Prepare all domains. So we're going to hit the enter key. We're going to cross our fingers, legs, arms, eyes, toes. Oh no, don't cross your toes. It might cause your foot to cramp. But anyway, we're going to cross everything we can, and hopefully this install will go well. I'm hoping. But I'm not going to make you sit here and listen to me babble, so we'll come back when it's complete, or there's been some sort of change. And cut. Oh no, I won't cut. Aha! Looky here. There's a pending reboot. Interesting. Now, alright, so that was a miserable failure. And you saw it tell me that I needed to reboot before I could run this command. So now I've rebooted. I'm going to reissue the command. And we're going to see what happens. That little coughing fit there. That's what coffee's for. And like I was said in earlier videos, I've been listening through the headset, the audio quality. And I promise you I'm going to get a directional mic so that you're not picking up all this, quite as much of this background noise, because it's going to cost me about $1,000 to put a heat pump in here, and I'm not ready to spend $1,000. I've got other issues that need to be fixed on this house way before I need to get a heat pump put in my office. So we're just going to have to deal with it for the time being. Now I've gotten this far, but nope, it's moving on now. So it's funny, if you look at the Microsoft install documents, they don't mention a reboot between these phases. Well, we're at 0%, so I'm not saying it was successful yet, but we're getting further than we did last time. Okay, now it says it has completed. So those are the 3 items that needed to be completed on the domain controller. And we're going to move over to the new Exchange server now, and we're going to continue on there. But I'm going to go ahead and reboot that Exchange server as well. So let me clean up some stuff here, and then we'll come back in that video. Alright, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at the Exchange 2016 server, or what's going to be the Exchange 2016 server. And now I need to install some roles on this server. So I'm going to go to Windows PowerShell, and I'm going to run as administrator. And then I'm going to paste that very long line there. Don't worry, I will put it in the show notes, okay? Don't worry about that. What we're doing is we're installing a lot of prerequisites that are required before we can do the actual Exchange 2016 install. So we're going to let those run. It's going to take a little while. There's a bunch of stuff to install, but I will, like I said, I will put the command that you need to put into PowerShell to do that, and then that way you all have it. So we'll cut the video here, and we'll come back when this part of the install is complete. So if you were successful as I was, you will see something like this, and you see the long command, and we're just installing Windows features on just like if we went into Server Manager and went add remove roles. We just did all of them at one time instead of having to flip through each little console. Sometimes the command line is faster than the GUI, but that's the beauty of Windows now. You know, Windows has always been based on, well, it was earlier based on DOS, and then they migrated it into an actual Windows kernel. My point is, you can use both, and sometimes it just makes sense to use the command line, and sometimes it makes sense to use the GUI, and this is one of those cases. And it's warning us we must restart, we must restart the server. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to go ahead and restart it, and we'll come back. Alright, so we've rebooted. We're on our Exchange server now. So now we can go and actually mount that ISO file on our network. So we'll go to the NAS, go to our applications, Microsoft Partner Downloads, Exchange 2016, and then we right click and mount. I love Server 2012, Server 2016, and Windows 10, where you can just mount an ISO file as it were a DVD or a hard drive. That's pretty cool, I think. Okay, and now, so what I want to do is actually run the Exchange install. I should be ready to go. So, that being said, keep in mind this is not a tutorial per se. This is simply how I installed Exchange and what I went through. And I'll combine as many of the notes as I can down below for y'all to read afterwards, after the fact. I will do that, but that takes a lot of time to write all that out. But I'll take care of it for you, and I'll point you to the in the right direction. But you still have to be able to do some work for yourself. So keep that in mind. These tutorials are not designed to get you up and running. If you happen to follow my example and it works for you, great. If not, go back and check your work because you screwed up somewhere. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this, and then I'm going to run the setup file. Well, that was odd. I don't know what happened. I've gone ahead and copied the ISO to the C drive here. And not that it should make any difference, but I'm going to mount this image from here. And we'll try running setup from here. I'm going to bring up Task Manager so I can see any processes that are running. And I'll sort them by CPU. And okay, I'm going to run this again. I'm going to tell it yes. And you notice we had a black screen. So I'll go ahead and bring you on along for the ride. I'm going to show you this command line that I did down here where it was install roll. I tried to do an install without the GUI, and it tells me I need Net Framework 4.5 or later. I have Net Framework 4.5.2 installed. You saw me install that. But in another article I read, it said to make sure you have .NET Framework 4.7 or better. So I'm upgrading to .NET 4.7, and I'm installing it now, and then I'll go, we'll have to reboot, I'm sure, and then I will try the install again. So wish me luck. And this brings me to a point. This is the whole reason, I'm going to go on a little rant here. This is the whole reason I do YouTube videos. Because if I were to go out in the community and tell people, in fact, let me bring up the webcam. If I were to go out in public and tell people I had all this trouble with Exchange getting it just to install, well, you didn't do this, you do. Well, of course I didn't do that. That's why I had problems. But the more constructive answer would be, hey, did you check this? Did you check that? Check this, try that. So if you're going to criticize people, make sure you do it. Not only do you criticize them, but you give them constructive criticism and give them a solution or help them along. Because it doesn't do anybody good to sit on the sidelines and go, well, you should have done that, and you should have done this. So that's the whole reason I do these YouTube videos, because some of this stuff, people just aren't going to believe me that I've run into these kind of problems. And this is a part of the problem with the internet. There's no, I suppose I could dig for 200 or 300 or 400 pages of Exchange 2016 installs where somebody has gone through this. What happens is most of the guys that install this, they don't document this process because they're not teaching other people how to do it or showing how to do it in the real world. That's why I leave this kind of stuff in my videos. That way you can see what happened to me when I'm installing it. If it happens to you, you can go, oh yeah, well, I remember Joe telling me this. And it can save you a whole bunch of time. And that's the whole reason for doing these videos. So, okay, enough with the rant. Back to the install. Let's see how we've progressed. And it's installing. I'm not going to make you hang on any longer and listen to me rant and rage. So I will pause the video here and come back once we've installed. And I'm going to have to do a reboot after I do this install of .NET Framework. So wish me luck. So .NET 4.7 has been installed. The server booted back up. Let's see if we have any errors when it boots up. There's 4 services not started. We'll see if they start here in a second. Let me tell you something. This is the first time I've used a Server 2012 virtual machine since I put those SSD drives into that Dell server, and this thing is much faster. Oh, just so much faster. So much faster. Now let's see if I can get these events to go away. What services aren't starting? Bits, diagnostic, user access, login. Okay, well, they'll come up when they're ready. And I imagine what's running in the background now is .NET optimization service. Yep. Would I be right or would I be right? This is why I use Task Manager so much, and it's really handy to see what's going on. I'm going to assume those services will start on their own when they're damn good and ready. And I've got, what have I got up here? Refresh the servers completed. Okay, so we'll close Server Manager for now, and we'll just let it run. Now, what we need to do is we need to go out and we need to mount our Exchange DVD again. And let's see, or ISO, and let's run this as administrator. And we don't get any further at all. Oh, yes, we do. Looky there. Isn't that funny how that works? That's what it was. It needed .NET 4.7. And I would assume one of the instructions I was reading was on the original Exchange Server 2016 and not the cumulative update 8. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and have it connect to the internet and check for updates if there are any. Click on next. No updates found, so we'll click on next, and then we'll let it copy the files. Alright, I put everybody to bed, and now I can really focus on what I'm doing. So, welcome to Exchange Server, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Okay, the wizard will guide you through the installation. We shall see. Let's see, the optimization service is still running, so I'm going to do next. Okay. Did I click next? There we go. Okay. I accept the license agreement. Let's do next. I'm going to... Okay, Exchange Server will automatically check online for solutions. Okay, I'm going to use recommended settings. What's the worst that could happen? So automating so Windows servers either recorded. So okay, I know I want the mailbox role, and that's it. And that'll include the management tools. It's hard to see here. It's grayed out, but it is checked. Okay. And I'm not going to check this because I think I have everything I need. Well, you know what? Let's check that just in case I missed any of those roles. That's when we did that long command line that I said I'm going to put down in the notes section. Okay, specify the path for the Exchange Server installation. Now I wonder if this means where it's going to actually install the files, the database files. So I'm going to change this to, and we should have a D drive out here somewhere. My goodness. Yeah, we have an E drive. So, let's put these files on the E drive. No, I don't think I can change it. I cannot. I can browse, but I cannot change it. You know what? I can move the databases later. I'm not worried about this right now. And we'll cover that. If I decide to do that, we'll cover that in a different video. So I'm going to do next. And it says disable malware scanning. I'm going to say no. And let's see how far we get now. And you'll see our activity spiking. Going to configure the prerequisites. Going to analyze them now. Oh, what fun we're having. Okay, I guess it's got to 100%. So let's click install. There we go. And it's running. So I'm not going to sit here and let you see all these steps unless something comes up on the screen that needs to be shared. We'll try to get through it and come back when it's complete. So all told, let's see, that took approximately 1/2 hour to install. and you see my net runtime optimization service is running quite heavily on the processor. That continued to run through the install. That may be why the install took such a long time, but it's finished. It was successful. Can I launch the Exchange admin? Okay, I'll do that. Okay, I'm going to finish, and now let's see if the Exchange administrator panel comes up. And I imagine it's a pig. Oh, it's a website. Okay, good. So I should probably see IIS server coming up. Yep. And you see my memory is pegged at 91%, 92%. I am probably going to need to bump that RAM up, but we'll see. It could be that some of these things running are just being piggish. So bring it back up. Okay, there it is. So I'm gonna cut the video right here, and well, we'll cut it here in a minute. You can see the IIS worker processes up. What I'm going to do is cut this video, and I'm going to shut down and restart the computer, let it come up clean, let it stabilize, and then I will go on from there and resume the video from that spot. So there you go. There is part 1 of the video on installing Microsoft Exchange 2016. It actually took me about 3 or 4 hours to make that part of that video last night, including editing. So hope you like the video and hope you enjoy it. And I was sorry to cut it off right at the good part, but we got it up and running. I know it's working. I wanted to give the server a day to stabilize and make sure all the updates were done. So the next part 2, will begin on the configuration of the mail server for my domain, and then probably part 3 will be configuring DNS and your domain information, all that good stuff. So thanks again for watching. We do appreciate your patronage. I hope you found the video entertaining and informative. As always, give us a thumbs up down below. Leave your comments down in the comments section. And I'm putting show notes down in the bottom as best I can so that you have the links to go to find the step-by-step install instructions if you are so inclined. So again, thanks for watching. PayPal, Patreon, if you're so inclined to donate, we take them on there. Thanks again for watching, guys. And ladies, I really appreciate it. And don't forget, we will see you on the other side.